Alex studied me, no doubt wondering how I'd guessed. I almost told her about the dream. But Alex really did not like having people inside her head, even unintentionally. And I didn't like being yelled at. "My father is an idiot," she said. "He didn't understand how I could like pottery but not want to make money off of it. He definitely didn't appreciate me listening to my grandfather's crazy ideas."
Such as?
Over at his work table, TJ kept poking holes in the clay sides of the dowel, creating different patterns, like stars and spirals.
This is kind of fun, he admitted. Therapeutic.
Alex's tighter-lipped lips curled at the edges. "My abuelo made pottery for a living, but his real interest was in our ancestors' sculptures. He wanted to understand the spirituality of them. That wasn't easy, I mean. After so many centuries trying to figure out your heritage when it's been buried under so much else. Olmec, Aztec, Spanish, Mexican. How do you even know what's true? How do you reclaim it?" I got the feeling her questions were rhetorical and didn't require answers from me, which was just as well. I couldn't think clearly with TJ running Rio and dowling smiley faces in his clay. "But your granddad managed it?" I guessed. "He thought so." Alex spun the wheel again, sponging the sides of her pot. "So did I. My dad," her expression soured. "Well, he liked to blame, you know, the way I am, on Loki. He didn't like it at all when I found validation on the Fierro side of the family." My brain felt like my hands, as if a layer of clay was tightening over it, sucking out all the moisture.
Sorry, I don't understand. What does that have to do with magic ceramic warriors?
"You'll see. Fish the phone out of my pocket and call Sam, will you? Give her an update. Then shut up so I can concentrate."
Even under orders? Pulling something out of Alex's pants pocket while she was wearing said pants seemed like a good way to get myself killed. I managed, with only a couple of small panic attacks, and found that Alex's phone had data service in the UK. She must have arranged that when she arranged her multi-currency theft. I texted Samira and gave her the lowdown. A few minutes later, the phone buzzed with her reply. "K, GL, fighting, GTG." I wondered if GTG in this context meant gotta go, Gunderson throttling girlfriend, or giants torturing Gunderson. I decided to think optimistically and went with the first option. As the afternoon wore on, the back tables filled up with fired porcelain squares that looked like armored plates. Alex taught me how, by combining the coils, to form cylinders that would serve as arms and legs. Her efforts at the pottery wheel produced feet, hands, and a head, all shaped like vases and meticulously decorated with Viking ruins. She spent hours on the faces, two of them, side by side, like the piece of art that Alex's father had shattered in my dream. Then, the left face had heavily lidded suspicious eyes, a cartoon villain's curly mustache, and a huge grimacing mouth. The right face was a grinning skull with hollow eyeholes and a lolling tongue. Looking at the two visages pressed together, I couldn't help thinking about Alex's own different colored eyes. By evening, we laid out the pieces of the ceramic warrior on our quadruple table, creating an 8-foot-long Frankenstein monster, some assembly required. Well, TJ wiped his forehead, that thing would scare me if I had to face it in battle. Agreed, I said. And speaking of faces...
"It's a duality mask," Alex explained. "My ancestors formed Tleco. They made a lot of the figurines with two faces, or one face with two halves. Nobody's sure why. My grandfather taught me that they represented two spirits of a single body."
"Like my Lenape friend Mother William," TJ said. "So I guess the native cultures down in Mexico had Arger too." He corrected himself quickly. "I mean, transgender folks, gender fluid folks."
Arger, the Viking word for someone of shifting gender, literally meant unmanly, which was not an apt Alex-approved term. I studied the mask.
"No wonder the duality art spoke to you. Your granddad, he got who you were."
"He got it," Alex agreed. He honored it. When he died, my dad did his best to discredit my abuelo's ideas, destroy his arts, and turn me into a good little business person. I wouldn't let him.
She rubbed the nape of her neck, maybe subconsciously touching the tattooed symbol of the figure eight serpents. She had embraced shapeshifting, refusing to let Loki ruin it for her. She had done the same with pottery, even though her father had turned the family business into something she despised. "Alex," I said, "the more I find out about you, the more I admire you." Her expression was a mix of amusement and exasperation, like I was a cute puppy that had just peed on the carpet.
Hold the admiration until I can bring this thing to life, smooth talker. That's the real trick. In the meantime, we all need some fresh air.
She threw me another wad of money.
Let's go get some dinner. You're buying.
End of chapter 18.